I don't know how to start this at all. Cheers to the I don't have a cup. Cheers! Welcome to the video this week, guys. I am on my own. I'm in my bedroom. I haven't got an L with me, which means one thing, it's my coming out video. This is really scary for me to do. It's something that I've wanted to do from day one, but I've been so scared to do because it's a scary story. When I was younger, I remember really vividly, I was probably about 6 years old, and I went up to Mum and we'd seen a play and there was a girl in the play, and I remember saying to Mum, "Mum, I don't get it because I really love the girl." And Mum was like, "What do you mean you love the girl?" And I was like, "Well, I know I'm meant to love the prince, but I really love the girl." I can't remember even what the play was, and I remember at the time Mum saying to me and joking and being like, "Oh, Laura's got a crush, that's so cute." So skip forward to high school. I went to this theatre week, which is a residential week and based kind of miles and miles away from home, and I went with a friend, and we went there and I met this girl, and she just really kind of intrigued me, I guess, because she was a lesbian, and I'd never met a lesbian before. 17-year-old me was just like, what are one of you? I've never seen one of you before. And yeah, I was so intrigued by her, and so we started getting a bit closer, and I was, just chatting to her, and I never kind of explicitly said, I think I might be one of you, but we ended up actually going out. She was my first ever girlfriend. She lived miles away. She lived all the way in Bournemouth and I lived all the way in Norfolk, and I didn't drive at the time, so I would make loads and loads of coach trips that took hours to get there. And we had a really intense relationship because for me, I grew up here, actually in this very bedroom, in this very house, but it's in the middle of nowhere. So I had never ever seen a lesbian, never really heard of a lesbian. No one spoke about it, really taboo. Everyone really old school. I got to kind of escape this world and go into her world, which was just a little bit more accepting, and her parents knew, and it was all very exciting, and I felt this like relief, and I would then crave to be there more than I was willing to be here. Then this said person, we'll call her Annie? We'll call her Annie. Annie then came and visited me here. My parents did not know a thing. She was my friend visiting from Bournemouth. We dropped her off at the coach station, and actually on the way back, Mum drove me back and had me in the car, so I was locked in a confined space, unable to escape. And Mum just came out with it, was like, "Do you love her?" And I was like, I remember it was like a dagger going through me, and I was like, "Oh my god, what?" And I completely denied it. I panicked and I was just like, "No." And I think I even said, like, "That's disgusting, why would you say that?" And just, I was so scared about, what would happen. And the next day I wrote Mum a letter. I really tried to find the letter, but I have no idea where it's gone. Because I did keep it for a long time, and I remember it said something like, "Hi Mum, yes I do love her," but then instantly justifying it and saying, "It doesn't mean I'm a lesbian, I definitely want to marry a man, this is a one-off thing," and just tried to throw as many cliche sentences in as I could to try and justify it for me. And Mum sat me down and she was just like, "Do you know what? I've got friends who are lesbians, it's fine, we're gonna get through this." The next day, it was like the whole, for me, this is such an exaggeration, but my whole world turned upside down because Mum and I went to walk the dog in the forest. Mum likes to trap me, and just out of nowhere, Mum just exploded with, it's not normal and you're disgusting. And I don't want to repeat it all because I don't need to, and they were really upsetting things for me, and very direct, and I think at the time as well, because I'd gone through that emotion of having it as a secret, to then having the courage, which took so much courage to write that letter and give it to Mum, and then that reassurance. So I've gone through all of this emotional roller coaster. I actually ended up breaking up with said Annie, and well, she broke up with me because of it, and that's a whole other story. But it ended, and the love I had for that person, that girl, was stronger than any love I'd ever had for any guy. And so I can't really explain it. It was like having the best thing in the world, and then you know what it's like to have that feeling that that's not allowed. I lived a bit of a secret life, so living here, I by day was this high school girl with all my girlfriends, friends that are girls, around me and having a great time. But then in the night time, this is going to sound really, really seedy, I don't mean it like this, but I would then have my gay friends who I'd met just one friend at sixth form, and then she showed me her gay community, and we would go out to the gay bars, and that's when actually I then met my second girlfriend. And it was horrible actually, because I was lying every day to my parents about where I was going, and I was saying I was constantly out with friends, and I wasn't. I was with my girlfriend, which is perfectly fine and normal. I actually cannot remember how I came out to Mum again and told her about, give her another name, I can't even think of a name, girlfriend number 2. I can't remember that conversation, and I genuinely think I've kind of blocked it out a little bit. But let's just say, long story short, it got so ugly that no one else was in the house, and Mum was screaming at me these horrendous things. And Mum is kind of quite religious, so it was very much, you're gonna burn in hell, like, I'm ashamed of you, I'd rather you were doing drugs, and things like, it was really, really hurtful. And then ultimately just shouted at me to leave the house, don't come back, get out. So I did, and just walked to my friends, but I live in the middle of nowhere, so I was walking maybe for like an hour and a half in the rain, and it was so rainy, and by the time I got there I was so I must have looked an absolute mess. So I stayed at my friend's, and then my girlfriend came and got me, and so I moved in with her for a while, which was good. Dad then actually contacted me because throughout all of this he hasn't had a clue, and Mum said to me that if your father ever finds out, then the worst would happen. So I didn't tell him, and it turns out he actually found out, and then he was amazing, and we had a really, really big chat. It was really emotional, and he was just like, I love you, you are my daughter, and it doesn't matter who you love, your happiness is more than anything, that's all that matters in life. And the meeting with Dad, I was like, right, I'm gonna forgive Mum, because the cliche phrase of life is too short, and people make mistakes and they say things in anger, and I don't know, I'm such a strong believer that everyone deserves a second chance. So yeah, really long story short, we all got around the table, we had a really big chat, Mum apologised. So anyway, that was exhausting and horrendous and emotional, but I forgave Mum, I moved back in, and Mum and Dad accepted, my girlfriend kind of into the family. I told my brother, he was amazing. I mean, Adam, you are such a great guy, and thank you so much, because throughout all of this, which I don't know how much of it you're aware of, like, you were just my little rock, which was super nice. And then I went to uni. So uni was the best thing ever, because for the first time I could just meet someone and them say hi and me be like, hi, I'm gay, or like I have a girlfriend. I don't actually label myself because I you know, I find guys hot as well, and I like and I'm, you know, I'm going to marry a girl, so yeah, but that's labels schmabels. Uni was wicked, and I really got to just be open with who I was, and you know, yeah, I broke up with my girlfriend, and then you know, I met Elle, and if you look at our video, the girlfriend tag, you'll find out how we met, and that was in my final year of uni. So yeah, it just went from strength to strength, and me just growing in a world where I was supported by friends. This last bit I just accelerated in about 5 seconds, so you've had this like epic long story and I've just suddenly said that it's amazing, but I cannot tell you enough how much it gets better. And you know, that hashtag is used all the time, it gets better, and it does, and it's something that I could never believe. And also I think it's really important for me to say that Mum and I have such a strong relationship now, and she loves Elle, and she just needed time to understand. Elle at some point is going to put her coming out story on here. It's very different to mine. So hopefully you guys will see kind of two sides of the coins. Thank you so much for watching. It means so much to me because this is a scary thing to put out there and actually tell people. Make sure that you like this video. Please, please, please kind of comment, let me know what you think of it. Subscribe to our channel, we do really fun videos, we have a great time. And most of all, share this video. If you're watching this and you know someone who this will help, or maybe, you know, feel a bit more connected to, please share the video. Bye guys!